Good day there. Drew here. Welcome along. I'm out driving on the 101 today. And thought I'd make a response video to all the recent videos Kurt's been doing on his coming out of the closet on his atheism. So, I thought this would be a pretty good subject to talk about while I'm out driving on the highways, which is pretty boring. I got no radio, I got no music, so I am quite bored. But as I drive, I thought I'd have somewhat of a discussion about problems I see. Because even though I don't believe in the religious dogma of organized religion, the atheistic movement is wrong on a number of pretty key issues. And that would be a very long discussion, because you have to bring in the last few thousand years of history. And unfortunately, people want to restrict the discussion to saying, okay, which side are you on? In terms of restricting themselves to, well, maybe not everybody, but in general, I find people try to restrict the discussion to the Scopes monkey trial. Which side are you on? Are you for creationism or Darwinism? As though that was the entire scope of all human history, science, and knowledge, which I find rather troublesome, because science is not defined by Darwin, not by a long shot. Now, if I can, I'm going to try to put a link to a conference on why Darwin, Huxley, and that whole crowd was the worst bunch of racist, genocidalist imperialists you could imagine. Right, because in the history of the British Empire, once, like I said, the official empire had been created around the 7 Years' War, right? 1767, right? And their attempts to go out and dominate the whole planet, right? They came up with theories to legitimize mass murder, slavery, just economic domination. And they came up with Smith, Darwin, Newton, theories to justify why the Anglo-Saxon race had to control the planet as the new Roman Empire, which it was. Because that's the part of history that people don't try to think about, is this continuation of the Roman Empire to the Venetian Empire to the Anglo-Dutch financial oligarchy that exists today. And it's that continuation, right? And these people they hire to formulate ideas, theories, which justify their continued rule over mankind. And part of that is Huxley and Darwin and the justification for the race theories, which eventually became the official eugenics movement to justify why the right race was the superior race, particularly the Anglo-Saxon race. And that's been a big problem, or the obsession of the British oligarchies, their crazy idea that they are descended from Jesus and therefore born to rule over mankind. And if they commit mass genocide and mass murder and slavery, why it's justified because they are the superior race. They believe that idiotic crap. They hate the revolution, the idea that all men are created equal. They hate that. And people don't want to get that idea that there is an oligarchy that has been in continuities since the beginning of Western civilization. And their long-term goal is to ensure that they continue in power no matter how many people they kill. And their basic philosophy is, one, keep people stupid. That's the main thing. And two, keep people divided, or just divide and conquer. The old method, right? As, let's see, the modern, I guess, equivalent is the use of police agencies and intelligence agencies around something like counter-gang operations, like a local police agency, right? Setting up a gang to counteract another gang. That goes on. Intelligence agencies setting up movements to counteract other movements which they want to neutralize. Right? That goes on all the time. British Empire is infamous in creating extremist religious movements. The Venetian Empire got their start by with the use of Henry VIII and his split with the church, right? The beginning of warfare of Christian against Christian, whereas the Venetians organized the Crusades, right, as a way of destroying all their rivals, right, by setting up these Christian versus Islamic wars, the Crusades, all around strategic economic doctrine to make sure that they dominated the trade routes at that time. And when, like I said, their system collapsed, they had to move their operations up to the Netherlands and then London. So anyways, to bring atheism in, you can't limit it to the Scopes monkey trial, because how many people actually have read the transcript of the trial? Right? Is that a legitimate basis of setting up, like I said, the whole discussion of science and everything in terms of that trial? Because that's the issue, that everybody is debating essentially the remains of the trial. Was it a legitimate trial? Yeah, was it? Is that the whole basis of how we define civilization, is that? Because when you look at it from this conference I'm going to try to link to, is that Darwin and Huxley and that kind of movement is really a very anti-scientific tradition. Pardon me, I'm driving, so I gotta pay attention. Yeah, that's the thing, really. I mean, all right, I'm going to stop it here, and then when I pick up the thread, I'll continue. Okay? Hold on. Good day. Hey, Kurt. Let me take this out. Okay. Welcome back. I've gone 180 miles so far, and I am very tired. Anyways, thought I'd continue before the sun goes down and can't see anything. So, to continue, only question I have for you is that is a viewpoint of an atheist that is essentially supposed to be taken from an Aristotelian axiom of the that is unknowable, that the universe is not understandable or knowable, and we depend on our senses, and that we're really nothing more than kind of special animals, right? Which is also the viewpoint of a lot of so-called Christians, who had this strange attitude that essentially God is dead, the devil rules the world, and that there's nothing we can do on this mortal earth. Just kind of, I don't know, you accumulate enough mileage points, or frequent flyer miles. What's a Christian version of frequent flyer miles? You know, prayer points, or if you collect that, you get a e-ticket into heaven, or some sort of stupid formula like that. That's from talking to a lot of Christians. They'll say, "Oh yeah, you know, devil rules the world. You know, nothing we can do." But it is Aristotelian. So if you just have two different versions of the same fucked up axioms, I mean, really, is what you're promoting any better than these so-called deluded Christians? Right? I mean, yeah, there's plenty in the Bible you can point out. It's got tons of problems, badly written, bad continuity, all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, I watch a lot of those. They're fun. People have fun with it, which is good. But again, why have I don't know, is it really worth promoting something that is really not really that much better? Right, because you do have the other tradition in science, which is this Platonic or Pythagorean tradition, right? Right, of which the universe is knowable. As, for instance, as Socrates went through in the Zeno paradox, or Zeno dialogue, right? Took the slave boy through the process of doubling the square, so that the boy, even though he'd been uneducated, didn't know anything, came to make a discovery about something about the universe, which is how to double the area of a square. And there's all sorts of other things, you know, Eratosthenes measuring of the circumference of the Earth, right? How did he do that? Because he didn't use his senses. Anyways, there's that kind of tradition, which has been the reason we have modern civilization. So, I think that's about it. I'm doing okay, considering I'm pretty tired. But I like these because they get me riled up. And it's good. I like it when there's people to talk about deep issues. It's a lot of fun. Okay. I'll go for now. I have to meet a client soon, and hopefully I'll get to meet a lady. Okay. So, see you later. Talk to you soon. Got questions? We can continue this. We have a video dialogue. Should be fun. Okay. See you later, Kurt. This is Drew live on the 210 out here in Ontario. You know, it's way out in east of Los Angeles. Okay, bye-bye.